What's good, everybody? Welcome to the Pull Up Shop. I'm your host, Mr. BJ Matthews, aka B Joseph. Before we get started, follow us on the YouTube page, the Pull Up Basketball Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. All of our YouTube videos. Hit that like button. Y'all come in here. Hit that share, subscribe button. Hit the Cash App, $ BJ Matthews. Again, $ BJ Matthews for this great content. Continue to follow the Pull Up Basketball Podcast as you guys know it. And also make sure that you guys continuously hit the super sticker and super comment button, which is below. Let's get it popping. All right, man. So NBA in-season tournament continues. We just dropped a video about Damian Lillard and the Bucks just previously a few hours ago. Now we're going on to our next topic, man. We're gonna be talking about the Phoenix Suns and the Los Angeles Lakers that prevailed last night. The Suns losing to the Lakers by 3 points in the fourth quarter. Definitely was a heavy hitter game. And we're gonna talk about the controversial call that happened last night between the Lakers and the Suns. Star player Devin Booker went on his Instagram. You guys understand what happened. If y'all watched it, if y'all didn't watch it, y'all know what happened. Last night there was a controversial call in the closing moments of the game where Austin Reeves had the basketball and the ball flew out of his hands, and LeBron James standing on the other side called a timeout right in front of the referee, and LeBron got the timeout over the turnover. It flew out of Austin Reeves' hands. They're down by 2 points at this point. And they're getting ready to get the steal, and they call the timeout, and the Lakers are presumed to get the ball back. I think it was 7 seconds left, if I'm not mistaken. Now, in watching this game, first of all, the Lakers and the Suns are, a pretty heated rivalry team. They played against each other a couple years ago in the conference finals, or in the first round against when they had Chris Paul. The Lakers, lost in 6 games, I believe. Anthony Davis was hurt games 4 through 6. So, in that whole moment, the Lakers and Suns have, some heated games. Y'all remember the Patrick Beverley pushing DeAndre Ayton last year. There's a lot of, there's some bad blood between these two teams. They're in the same, not just the same conference, but the same division, the Pacific Division. I think the Suns are in the 4th seed and the Lakers are in the 5th or in the 7th. I don't know if they moved around since last night, but the Suns, I believe, they were in the 4th prior to this game. The Lakers were in the 7th. So now with the Lakers winning this game, they will be going to Vegas to face the New Orleans Pelicans, I believe, on Friday, if I'm not mistaken, which is going to be a very, very high impact game. And last night, I want to kind of get into, a few things, from what the call was about and, some other sentiments I wanted to talk about previous to it. But, this was a hot topic this morning. I just finished watching Undisputed with Skip Bayless, Richard Sherman and Keyshawn Johnson. And it presumed me to do this video because, look, man, I understand that people have their teams. I understand people, like who they like. So it's kind of tough to kind of put your feelings to the side when you're dealing with a team that you actually like. You know what I'm saying? My team is the Clippers. I think I do a pretty good job of evaluating right and wrong. I think I do a pretty good job of evaluating when it comes to my team doing well and my team messing up. There are certain moments where I will say stuff like, just based off of my gut and me watching, my team for so long, that, other people may not understand if they call it being biased, but it's only because I actually know the team and the players at a distinct level, but that's another subject. Last night was it was a very high impact game. There's a lot of physicality, a lot of trash talking. And, I already knew, it was going to come to the closing moments of this game. And, evaluating these two teams, the Suns and the Lakers, I had picked the Suns to win this game. Because I feel like the firepower of Booker and KD was going to prevail. I did not know Bradley Beal was not going to play last night, but the fact that he didn't play last night, still the Suns had a chance to win the game. And just watching this Suns team, like I've told y'all before about the Suns, I told y'all they're mentally weak. Right? I've said this before about this team. They're a mentally weak team. They're a team that has prevailed because they've beaten teams that have been hurt. They faced the Lakers when they were wounded without Anthony Davis. They faced the Denver Nuggets without Jamal Murray being wounded. They faced us 2 times with Kawhi Leonard being, either out or Paul George being out. They faced the Pelicans with Zion Williamson in 2022. And then when they face a fully healthy team, say the Nuggets last year when they got their revenge, they beat them in was it 6 games? When they lost to the Mavericks, who are less talented but were at full strength, they beat them in 7 in a record margin by 40 points, and they lost to the Bucks in the finals in 6 games, losing 4 games straight. So every time they faced a healthy full team, they ended up getting exposed, right? And they got exposed last night, right? I have to say it. For Devin Booker, he put this on his IG last night. As y'all come and hit that like button, he put this on his IG last night as if the Suns got, robbed and got cheated. I'm gonna talk about that in a minute. But I gotta go to the Suns. Watching that entire game, they did it to themselves. A few things about this Suns team. First of all, they need a point guard. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant running that position, bro, is just they cannot run that. They cannot run that position full time. KD looks very awkward dribbling the basketball. He had 7 turnovers last night. Devin Booker had 5. And the turnovers they had were just bad passes, bad entry passes, being careless with the basketball. And then they get back on defense. They're not stopping nobody on the other side. So for the thing that they do the best, which is offense, they turn that ball over as if they don't want the ball. Now, some of that has to be credit to the Lakers defense, because the Lakers don't really have, and I want y'all to listen to when I say this, the Lakers don't really have a star-studded team. They don't really have a star-studded team. Their team is, a bunch of, regular guys who have an Asian star in LeBron, and they have an inconsistent star in Anthony Davis, which he played well last night. But you'll see him have a 30-piece with like 15 rebounds and like 4 blocks, and then the next game he'll have like a 15-point game with like 7 rebounds and like no blocks. That's how he operates. So you got that, but you have a lot of players who just basically are very good, average players, right? You got Austin Reeves, you got Cam Reddish, you got Taurean Prince, you got Christian Wood, even though he didn't play much last night. A bunch of guys who are, they're okay. They're okay, they're solid. But they don't really have no real stars. Now people are gonna say LeBron, like I said, he's aging. And the more I watch LeBron over and over, the more I'm seeing that it's a difference between him, of course, 4 years ago to him now. He's not playing the defense he was playing before. He depends more on his 3-point shot or just getting to the basket. Now, of course, Father Time has still not stopped him. He's not going to. I think LeBron can play another 2-3 years, honestly, if he wanted to. But all I'm saying is the star power of Kevin Durant and Devin Booker, it's a more star power on that side. They have guys helping them out. Grayson Allen was making some shots. I think his name was Nasir Little. He was, making some key plays. So they had enough to get the job done, as bad as they were playing. But they shot themselves in the foot with all them damn turnovers. I think they had like 26, 27 turnovers last night. And there were half of them were unforced. That just shows you they're careless with the basketball. They're not disciplined on the offensive end. And they need a point guard. That's all I saw. But that's nonetheless. I want to talk about this call. Now that I just roasted the Suns, I want to talk about this call because I watched Undisputed this morning with Skip Bayless and Keyshawn Johnson and Richard Sherman. Now, of course, Keyshawn and Richard Sherman are Laker fans. They're LeBron fans as well. So they're going to definitely protect their guy. They're going to definitely, support their guy. Now, the refs came out and said that the call that, with Austin Reeves, the ball was in possession of his leg when LeBron called the timeout. That's what Richard Sherman said. That's what Keyshawn Johnson tried to explain, expound on, right? The refs came out literally this morning and tried to clean it up and say that it was basically on his leg and he had possession to call the ball. That's when LeBron called the timeout, this, that, and the other. So if y'all look at the screen right here, y'all see the ball is clearly out of his possession when LeBron called the timeout. I watched the video probably a couple 20 times, and the ball was not the ball from what I saw was already out of his possession. Now, a couple points that Keyshawn and Richard Sherman did make was, who's to say that the Suns would have been able to capitalize on that 2-point deficit, right? He has to ask. You have to basically ask yourself, um, you know, that question, like, could the Suns have possibly been able to get over the hump and get to that 2-point lead? I don't know. I don't know if Grayson Allen would have got the ball if it would have hit out of bounds. So there's other questions. That's what they asked themselves, and those are valid questions. But when you deal with, and this is why I say the LeBron James fan base is the most obnoxious fan base of any fan base. Worse than Jordan, worse than Kobe, worse than Steph Curry, worse than KD, worse than Kawhi, worse than any fan base. The LeBron James fan base is the worst fan base of anybody because they're scattered throughout the media. So when it's their time to actually be objective and actually hold some weight, then they tend to take a backseat and start backpedaling. See, there was a play last year. Y'all remember that famous Saturday night on ABC where LeBron James got fouled on his hand. I think it was by Jason Tatum, and the refs didn't call it. The refs didn't call the foul. I literally got on my Instagram and I actually said that this was clearly a foul. Y'all know I'm not the huge LeBron James fan, but it was clearly a foul. And the refs choose to make it. They definitely messed that play up. Right? The LeBron James fans were sitting up there saying that, how this is robbery, that this guy definitely should have called a foul and this, that, and the other. They act like the man lost the finals, right? Right? A lot of people on my social media were talking about it who don't even really watch ball like that. You know what I'm saying? This play, I was waiting for LeBron James fans to actually say, nah, that was, the ball was out of his possession. He called a timeout after the ball was out of his possession. I didn't hear none of that. I literally heard, Austin Reeves got fouled by Devin Booker, even though Austin Reeves made contact with Booker first. And y'all know I ain't no Booker fan like that. But the man, Austin Reeves, clearly, and he does this a lot, he lowers his shoulder into his opponent's sternum or their chest to try to draw contact. That's not a defensive foul when you initiate contact. You can't expect to get a call. It can go both ways. So when people say that should have been a foul, nah, and what I'm saw, that was not a foul. And you can't call a foul like that when the game is that close because you're putting the game into the ref's hands. You're not putting the game in the player's hands. So he wasn't going to get that call. And it shouldn't have been a call because he tried to put his shoulder into Booker's chest or his sternum, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I heard this morning. I heard that Grayson Allen would have probably not gotten that ball, even though really, in honesty, he stopped and slowed down, if y'all watch closely, when he heard the whistle. And he still got the ball before he went out of bounds. So if he never heard a whistle, he would have kept running his regular speed. You know what I'm saying? Just what my point is just this. All these basic, trying to, I guess you could say, protect the Lakers and LeBron, it gets to a point. That's why I say it gets to a point where it gets too obvious. You can have an opinion, but when the opinion is actually being shown, and then here's the thing about the refs, they tried to clean it up after Booker already put the post out. He put the post out first to clearly expose the referees for them missing this call. And then he got in the post game and said that, refs miss calls all the time. Just be upfront and say you missed the call. Don't try to clean it up and say that Reeves had the ball in his possession on his leg and all that dumb shit. The man literally he lost possession of the basketball. But this goes around a lot too. The refs gotta do a better job of blowing the whistle when the play happens. I understand that they have a lot they dealing with, but something gotta give, man. Like some of these calls I'm seeing are just flat out ridiculous. And it reminded me of a play just earlier this year where remember that game where PG had 35 points against the Los Angeles Lakers and it went into overtime. This play right here where Paul George shot the 3-point shot and he got fouled by Cam Reddish. Now y'all know how players are when they foul somebody and they know they fouled, they want to act like they didn't do nothing. Cam Reddish has his hands up, act like he don't know what he did. But as y'all can see right here, he's clearly touching PG's hand before and after the shot goes up. So y'all see the ref right there. Y'all see the ref clearly looking at Paul George's hand. This should have been called a foul right away after he saw the contact. But what the ref did is he waited until PG missed the shot and then he blew the whistle. See, stuff like that is when people start going to conspiracy theories. Now, me personally, I'm not the one to go for those conspiracy theories. I think that if you better than this team, you don't leave it up to the refs. But basketball is basketball. You're going to have situations like that. So it's still your job as the referee to call the game how it should be called. That's your job. That's why you get paid 6 figures. Don't tell me about the refs have too hard of a job. Like, this is your job. And when you don't do your job, you have to own up and say, we missed the call. Not try to clean it up and try to say it was, he had the ball was on Austin Reeves' leg and that constitute as him having possession, this, that, and the other. The ball clearly was called. The timeout was called after LeBron James. The ball flew out of Austin Reeves' hands. But this play right here, you can clearly see the ref putting his hand up. And then as he puts his hand up, he doesn't even blow the whistle. He waits for Paul George to miss the shot, and then he calls the foul. You know why he did that? Because he understood if that was an and one, and they would have hit the 3, the Clippers would have went up by 1 point, and then the Lakers would have 15 seconds to score on the other end. So that tells me that the refs weren't confident enough the Lakers were going to close this game out, and that's been the issue. I've been hearing a lot of people say these refs have been helping the Lakers get these wins. But my thing is, I watched the Lakers last night, and I've already said to y'all before, they're not really nothing special of a team, but what they do is they help one another out. They definitely rotate on defense. They have a lot of good role players on that team. But it's no secret that the refs clearly, and this goes back to even last year, people were complaining about the free throw discrepancy. That game 3 against the Warriors last year where they had I think 40 free throws or something like that, close to 40 free throws. And then the Lakers barely won that. Like the amount of cushion. I understand the NBA has, certain teams that, get favorable calls, but it's no secret that the Lakers get so many. They get probably the most calls, out of any team. And it's easy because, again, and then Keyshawn Johnson admitted this morning, when you're LeBron James, you get those calls. So basically, he did all that screaming, all that, backpedaling, backtracking for nothing this morning, as if Austin Reeves had possession of the basketball. He tried to clean it up just like the referees tried to clean it up. So, yeah, Devin Booker is correct. The ball was out of his hands. Austin Reeves did not deserve to get a foul call because he does this all the time. He's very crafty. He's a very high IQ player, so he knows how to draw fouls. But the refs, again, it's why you cannot play so sloppy. That's why the Suns deserve to lose. My thing is you guys gave up 12 turnovers amongst your 2 best players, and half of them were unforced. So, I just thought I would make this video because it's like the amount of backtracking these LeBron and Laker fans do, bro. It is literally to a fault. it literally to a fault. Like I said, I'm not a Suns fan whatsoever. I hope we get them in the playoffs. But I call out spade a spade when the Celtics and Lakers faced last year and Jason Tatum grabbed LeBron's arm on a clear layup to the basket. I just like the rest of the LeBron clan was like, look, man, come on, man, this is just horrible refereeing. And if you're gonna make a horrible call, they gotta do something about this challenge rule too. If it's like a blatant, obvious call, there needs to be an exception. Like it shouldn't end like how it ends because the ref missed a blatant, obvious call. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be like, oh, you ain't got no more challenges or this or that. That shouldn't be the case, bro. I know it's a thin line between it, but I mean, at some point, something got to give. You know what I'm saying? But the Lakers advanced to the next round of the NBA in-season tournament. I know I'm gonna get a few Laker haters in here be saying, well, you didn't give LeBron James this, that, and the other, or you gonna say the Suns. I'm gonna have haters on both sides, right? So it is what it is. We'll be back on tomorrow with the show. What I'm saying, NBA game tonight between the Clippers and Nuggets. Let's see if the Clippers can finally prevail over the team that's been owning them for the last 3 seasons. And we'll be back on tomorrow with the post-game press conference or post-game talk. Hit the Cash App, $ BJ Matthews, the Cash App. Until next time, respectfully say pull up a seat, pull up a chair, put live. Peace. Out of here like swimwear.